When people imagine surviving a shipwreck, they picture the moment of escape. The lifeboat, the life vest, the relief of still being alive. But survivors often describe a different moment as the most terrifying. The first night. Because the first night is when reality arrives. Darkness removes orientation. The horizon disappears. Even the scale of the ocean becomes impossible to measure. And with that loss of reference, the brain begins to struggle. Researchers who studied maritime disasters noticed a pattern. Many survivors remain surprisingly functional during the initial emergency. Adrenaline carries them. Action focuses them. But when night falls, adrenaline fades, and thought returns. This is when the mind begins asking dangerous questions. How far are we from land? Did anyone receive the distress signal? How long can we survive out here? Is rescue already searching, or does no one even know we're gone? Uncertainty is one of the heaviest psychological loads a human can carry, because the brain is wired to predict outcomes. At sea, prediction collapses. There are no visible timelines, no reassuring signals, only darkness and waiting. Temperature often drops faster than survivors expect. Wet clothing accelerates heat loss. Fatigue spreads quietly through the body. Small discomforts begin stacking into serious stress. But the greatest threat is rarely physical, at least not yet. It is psychological fragmentation. Some survivors become withdrawn. Others grow restless. Some talk continuously just to push back the silence. And some begin to imagine threats that are not even there. The human brain does not like vastness. It prefers walls, boundaries, edges. The open ocean offers none. Investigators found that groups who managed to establish structure early often fared better. Simple things helped: assigning lookout roles, creating ration plans, agreeing on signaling strategies. Structure gives the brain something it desperately needs: a sense of control. Without it, panic spreads faster. Leadership often emerges during this first night, not through authority, but through emotional steadiness. The calm voice becomes the anchor, because calm is contagious, but panic is contagious too. And once panic spreads across a raft, decision-making deteriorates rapidly. Survivors later described the strange distortion of time. Minutes feel stretched. Hours feel suspended. Sleep becomes fragmented if it comes at all. Every sound feels amplified. Every movement demands attention, and the darkness seems endless. Yet perhaps the most important psychological shift is acceptance. Those who survive often reach a quiet realization: rescue might take time. Far more time than they want. Acceptance does not mean surrender. It means adapting. It means conserving energy instead of fighting reality. It means focusing only on what can still be controlled. These psychological pivots appear again and again in documented shipwreck accounts. The same thresholds, the same mental crossroads, the same fragile divide between endurance and collapse. I explore these survival patterns in The Ocean Doesn't Forgive, where we examine what the sea reveals about the limits of human endurance. Because surviving the sinking is only the beginning. The first night is the mind's true test. And many people discover, too late, that the ocean is not their only adversary. Silence can be won. Isolation can be won. And the unchecked human imagination can be the most dangerous of all. Because the ocean doesn't chase you. It waits. And it never forgives. Survivors often recount how the first night plays tricks on the mind, making shadows loom larger than life. Whispers of waves transform into ghostly echoes, and each splashing sound ignites an instinctive fear. In the pitch black, it becomes more challenging to differentiate between real dangers and imagined ones, blurring the lines of sanity. What seems like a distant hum may become a terrifying monster sneaking just beneath the surface. As the hours drag on, apprehension weaves itself into the fabric of their reality, leaving the survivors craving any sign of hope amid despair. So they cling to memories, faces of loved ones, laughter shared under sunny skies. In those recollections, they find flickers of warmth that pierce the cold reality surrounding them. Conversations return, uninvited yet comforting, replaying sentiments they consider safe and distant from the bitter tide. Each reminiscence acts as a lifeline, tethering them to humanity, even as the vastness swallows their surroundings. Yet, with every rising wave, flashes of what might have been turn into haunting reminders, overwhelming the mind. The struggle becomes twofold, a fight against the ocean and an internal battle against the weight of unseen shadows creeping closer. As darkness settles deeper around them, fatigue clings to their limbs like a shroud, and their resolve begins to thin. Every flicker of their thoughts hangs on the precipice of despair, prompting a harsh reckoning with the unknown. The ocean, an endless void, takes on a menacing identity. Time stretches and warps, while resilience frays at the edges. Somewhere within, the survivors instinctively know that surrendering to the abyss is the ultimate defeat. But each heartbeat drums a reminder of their isolation and vulnerability. They must find ways to combat the creeping silence, to sustain the fragile thread binding them to courage and hope. For the first night demands more than mere survival. It requires a triumph over the soul's darkest recesses. Amid the encroaching shadows, some survivors begin to construct an unspoken agreement, a shared understanding that they must confront the reality of their situation together rather than succumbing to fear alone. This, however, is not without its challenges. Voices tremble under the weight of uncertainty, yet in that trembling, there is unity. Each survivor knows that the spoken word carries power, something to push back against the suffocating silence that envelops them. They start to share their stories, weaving together fragments of laughter and warmth like netting against the cold grip of despair. As tales of life before the shipwreck emerge, the haunting vastness begins to feel just slightly less oppressive. Collectively, they transform the darkness into a canvas for their emotions, painting over their isolation with the brush of camaraderie, allowing hope to seep through the cracks. As the night stretches on, whispers of fear give way to moments of unexpected courage. One survivor, with trembling hands, proposes a plan to establish roles among them. A lookout turned to the horizon, another to gently navigate the raft's fragile balance. In that suggestion lies a glimmer of structure, a lifeline they can cling to amid the chaos. With each assignment, their shared purpose begins to quell the rising tide of anxiety, turning individual struggles into a collective effort against the relentless dark. It is a fragile victory, but in that moment, they stand together against despair, bonding over the smallest of tasks, reminding one another that hope can still flicker in the depth of uncertainty. As hours drift slowly by, the psychological toll begins to weigh heavier. The survivors' smiles wane, replaced by furrowed brows, each glance at the relentless ocean a reminder of their perilous plight. One survivor breaks the silence, sharing a personal memory of triumph against the odds. Others, emboldened by this vulnerability, open up, creating a fragile tapestry of shared resilience amid their plight. Yet, amidst their collective struggle, silence still lurks, feeding on their anxieties and fears. While memories and stories strengthen their bond, the chilling realization of their reality looms heavy. Each survivor carries the weight of their thoughts, battling against the suffocating stillness, aware that survival demands not only physical resilience, but also the unwavering strength of the human spirit. As they share their stories, tentative laughter begins to punctuate the air, like tiny sparks lighting the oppressive darkness. Each recollection is a thread, weaving their diverse experiences into a shared narrative of survival. The survivor's voice, once shaky, grows stronger, igniting a flicker of hope among the group. They take turns revealing dreams deferred, loved ones left behind, and the bright moments that still linger in their minds, all gradually stitching a quilt of connection across the vast emptiness. Each shared moment acts as a shield, pushing back against the suffocating silence, reminding them they are not alone in this unforgiving expanse. But as the hours wear on, shadows loom, and despair threatens to creep back in, urging them to stay vigilant in their fragile bond. The waves continue their monotonous rhythm, each swell a reminder of their peril. But their collective stories form a beacon, drawing them closer together, like a lifeline woven from words. A sudden chill in the air steals their breath, yet the warmth of connection repels the encroaching cold. As the group grows more resolute, they realize these shared memories can anchor them in this storm of uncertainty. Each survivor silently recognizes the growing bond poised to shield them against despair's relentless assault. Understanding intertwines with vulnerability, offering solace in each other's presence. Together they lay the foundation of resilience, solidifying the quiet belief that survival isn't solely about endurance. It is also about embracing the power of community, even when surrounded by darkness. As their stories flow and intertwine, a delicate sense of camaraderie emerges, allowing waves of laughter to break through the looming despair. Each survivor's narrative complements the next, creating a tapestry of resilience and shared humanity. They begin to craft a makeshift plan, assigning roles not out of fear, but from a blossoming hope. "I'll keep watch," one suggests, bravely squinting into the inky void ahead, while another nods, offering to manage their precious ration of water. The simplest allocation of tasks transforms their dynamic, reinforcing their connection. Now, each heartbeat echoes the understanding that together, they can face the night. As they lean into this newfound structure, laughter becomes their shield against the shadows lurking just beyond their perception. Through words woven in the dark, they formulate a pact, to fight not only against the sea, but also the isolation that threatens to consume them. It's in these shared, vulnerable exchanges that they discover the resilience of the human spirit, igniting a fire within that refuses to be extinguished. The first night, in all its daunting depth, morphs into a shared journey, as strength grows from their vulnerabilities, becoming their beacon against despair. Yet the night is not done with them. Its true psychological weight lurks just below the surface. While they fight to maintain their resolve, fatigue clings to them like the salty water that drips from their frayed clothing. Their eyelids grow heavy, drooping with the weight of exhaustion, and whispers of doubts creep in, threatening to unravel the fabric of unity they've woven. One survivor starts to drift into a restless slumber, and the others instinctively lean closer as shadows grow longer in the moonless expanse. The chilling air wraps around them, tightening its grip, and the faintest sound, a soft lapping of waves, feels like a cruel reminder of their isolation. As they navigate this treacherous territory of shared fears, a delicate balance hangs in the air, a balance between hope and despair, between light and dark. They understand that surrendering to their fears even for a moment could mean losing the thread of connection they fought so hard to build. So they engage in soft conversations, their voices tender yet resolute, acknowledging their situation while steering each other back on course toward courage. As weariness deepens, a low murmur rises among them. Each voice becomes a lifeline pulling the group back from the edge of despair. One survivor, sensing the tremor in their resolve, proposes another story, a favorite from childhood that once brought them joy. Others lean in, their attention a testament to the fragile trust they've nurtured amidst the darkness. As the tale unfolds, laughter once again dances on the waves of their shared experience, reminding them that joy still exists, even in dire circumstances. Each hearty chuckle becomes an act of defiance, pushing back against the suffocating silence that threatens to engulf them entirely. The storytelling flows fluidly now, buoying their spirits with every word exchanged across the vast divide of uncertainty. Yet underneath their laughter, the specter of worry looms, whispering questions that gnaw at the edges of their minds. What if dawn never comes? What if the world outside this raft has forgotten them? A chill settles deeper, amplifying their fears, and they suddenly feel the weight of their decision to confront the dark together. With shared glances, they renew their commitment to one another, a silent vow that strength must prevail over despair. No matter what happens, we stay together, one survivor asserts, her voice overshadowing shadowy doubts. This declaration ignites a spark, and they nod in agreement, reinforcing their fragile yet unyielding bond. United, they prepare to face whatever the first night might unleash, transformed by shared stories and moments of vulnerability into a resilient front against the uncertainty looming over the vast sea. The ocean's whispers may still weave threats into their minds, but now it meets the power of community, forged in the crucible of survival. Amid the swirling uncertainty, an unexpected sense of unity envelops the group, each heartbeat syncing with the steady pulse of survival. As the night deepens, laughter fades into more earnest conversations, exploring fears and uncharted territories of their hearts. Voices, once hesitant, begin to flow freely, creating a patchwork of honest reflections on what has transpired and what lies ahead. One survivor steps forward, recounting a cherished family tradition that centers around hope, a ritual of lighting candles for loved ones, a flicker of light during the darkest times. Others listen intently, imagining the warm ambience of candlelight against the backdrop of the vast, unforgiving ocean, momentarily bridging the gap between their present and past selves. In this shared vision, a new plan emerges. They promise to keep their hopes alight, just as the candles once did. Each ember of hope fuels them with renewed strength, a commitment to uphold each other's spirits, ensuring the darkness does not claim victory over their resolve. The ocean may be relentless and the night profound, but together, they kindle a flame of resilience that transforms their isolation into a constellation of shared dreams. As the night drags on, fatigue mingles uneasily with hope, leaving them vulnerable yet resilient in their connection. One survivor finds courage to suggest a strategy for the upcoming hours. Let's take turns staying awake. Each moment matters. Quiet agreement spreads among them, reinforcing their resolve, for even the small act of vigilance instills a sense of purpose. As they designate roles, strength emerges from the depths of their shared vulnerability. Each heartbeat echoes their commitment to one another, an unbreakable thread woven through stories, fears, and cherished memories. Gradually, their bond transforms into an anchor, steadying them against the tumultuous waves of uncertainty that threaten to pull them under. In that fragile space, they understand. Survival is not merely physical. It flourishes in the collective courage of a united spirit, fighting to emerge from the depths of despair. Each breath, each whispered promise, becomes a quiet act of rebellion against the consuming darkness. The first night, harsh and relentless, may challenge their fortitude, but here, amid the restless sea, they find solace in their shared humanity, lighting paths of hope in the ceaseless night. In the stillness of uncertainty, a gentle voice cuts through the heaviness. Let's remember why we're here together, it suggests, sealing their pact with a shared purpose. The survivors nod, each grappling with the magnitude of their predicament, yet finding strength in a united front. They begin to vocalize their hopes and dreams, allowing the visions of lives not yet lived to weave through the air, softening the sharp edges of despair. Words of future reunions with loved ones, adventures waiting just beyond this dark moment, ignite flickers of determination. With each heartbeat, they stitch together a collective dream, transforming fear into vision. The ocean may stretch endlessly before them, but within the fragile bond they've fostered, there lies an invincible thread of hope, one that whispers softly against the monstrous waves outside, urging them to endure. As they deepen their shared resolve, the survivors take turns speaking their truths, allowing vulnerability to weave through their dialogue. One voice rises above the rest, expressing the heartfelt desire to return to the life left behind, the warmth of home, the laughter of loved ones, and the simple pleasures that now feel distant. The resonance of these words hangs in the air, a tangible reminder of what's worth fighting for. Each survivor adds their own layer of memory, creating a mosaic that glows within the shadows. These visions, once merely flickers, solidify into a beacon of unity, guiding them through the abyss. Their hearts swell with purpose, igniting a shared commitment to endure, not just for themselves, but for the collective hope they now embody. The survivors' voices blend, harmonizing a fragile strength that echoes against the vast desolation. They lean into each other, breathing life into their shared aspirations, crafting images of future laughter and love that curl around the corners of desperation. Each story spoken is a brick in the fortress of their unity, shielding them against the chilling reality of their current plight. As shadows stretch with the passing hours, the collective pulse of hope thrums steadily, a reminder that they have become more than mere individuals trying to survive. They are a community, intertwined by their struggles and dreams alike. As dawn approaches, the horizon begins to hint at a change, a shift in the darkness that has enveloped them for so long. Nipples of light tease the edge of the ocean, whispering promises of new beginnings. Each survivor clings to this fragile hope, knowing that the first night has tested their limits, yet fortified a bond that now feels irrevocable. They stand together, gazing towards the horizon, hearts aligned in shared resilience against the vastness ahead. The ocean may not forgive, but together they emerge, scarred yet triumphant, ready to face whatever challenges await in the light of a new day.